Salam alaikum. They always say if you want to understand the world around you, you should read the Quran. But because of my own ignorance, the opposite happened to me. The recent events in the world around us actually helped me understand the Quran. There was a part of the story of the Pharaoh of Moses that I have been reading for the past 30 years and I just understood right now. I thought that Pharaoh was a tyrant. He ruled Egypt with an iron fist. No one asked him about his decisions. All the Egyptians feared him and worshipped him. Turns out that is completely wrong. Yes, that was the end result. But did anyone ask before, how did he reach this power? Why didn't the Egyptians question him on his decisions? Why didn't the Egyptians disagree with him and revolt? Did he say to the Egyptians, worship me, and they just agreed like that? Did he tell the Egyptians to murder all male newborns, and they just agreed? Think about it. Did he tell the Egyptians, don't believe in the clear miracles and signs of Moses, and they just agreed? And why? To answer this question, we have to talk about the Pharaoh's media machine. This will be a very interesting topic actually, especially with the recent events that are happening around the world. So bring your coffee and let's start. Human nature in general loves good and hates evil. It is unbelievable to see a whole nation agreeing to the mass genocide of children or any other evil act. Yet, throughout history, you see several events where the leader convinced the public that genocide is for the greater good. And they actually obeyed him, starting with the ancient Egyptians to all the events that happened in modern history. And I am not interested in why the leader is doing that. I'm actually interested at the normal layman in the street. I want to ask him, why are you supporting this leader's decision? I want to understand the psychology of the police officers and army men who are obeying their leader in doing this evil. Why are they obeying him? And after doing some research, this is what I concluded. Imagine that you talk to one of the ancient Egyptians, a layman at the time of Pharaoh, and ask him, why are you supporting Pharaoh's acts of mass slaughtering of innocent children? He will not tell you because I am evil and I love evil. Of course not. He will tell you something like, we have the right to defend ourselves. We are dealing with human animals, or they deserve it. This Moses guy, he is a wanted criminal. He's barbaric. He is a killer who fled away after killing one of our police officers. You didn't see it, they talk about it every day on Pharaoh's television. Instead of thanking Pharaoh of taking care of him while he was young, he grew up to be a murderer.
قال ألم نربك فينا وليدا ولبثت فينا من عمرك سنين وفعلت فعلتك التي فعلت وأنت من الكافرين.
Not only that, but also he learned magic. And he is trying to destroy our religion using his magic tricks. He wants us to leave our gods just because he did a magic trick with his stick turned it into a snake. Imagine.
قال آمنتم له قبل أن آذن لكم إنه لكبيركم الذي علمكم السحر فلسوف تعلمون.
The world will be a better place without him and his followers. And you need to understand that there is no scientific proof that his God exists. Pharaoh conducted scientific research that proves that Moses is a liar. He built a great telescope to look at the heavens, and he didn't find any God there.
وقال فرعون يا هامان ابن لي صرحا لعلي أبلغ أسباب السماوات فأطلع إلى موسى وإني لأظنه كاذبا وكذلك زين لفرعون سوء عمله وصد عن السبيل وما كيد فرعون إلا في تباب.
Why should we believe this Moses guy claiming to be a prophet, while he came hundreds of years after Joseph? That doesn't make any sense to me. If we're going to believe in revelation from the God in heaven, at least we would read the earlier scriptures, because earlier scriptures are more authentic. That is, if we believe in Joseph to begin with.
They do say, that the Holy Quran came 600 years after Jesus, peace be upon him. Why should we believe in it?
ولقد جاءكم يوسف من قبل بالبينات فما زلتم في شك مما جاءكم به حتى إذا هلك قلتم لن يبعث الله من بعده رسولا كذلك يضل الله من هو مسرف مرتاب الذين يجادلون في آيات الله بغير سلطان أتاهم كبر مقتا عند الله وعند الذين آمنوا كذلك يطبع الله على كل قلب متكبر جبار.
Because of these human animals, Moses and his followers, a lot of people got deluded into believing this magic that made our idol gods angry, and they punished us with plagues like floods, locusts, lice, frogs, and blood. We are fighting for our own existence. We have the right to defend ourselves against this barbaric Moses and his followers. Only some idiots supported these terrorists. One of them was the babysitter working in Pharaoh's house. Turns out she supports these barbaric animals. And because Pharaoh is a just man, he didn't kill her right away. He tried to convince her to stop supporting the terrorists, but she refused. So she got what she deserved. He tortured her. Then he put her 5 children in boiling oil in front of her own eyes. And after witnessing her children boil to death, he put her in the oil after them. You know you have to make an example, right? But out of Pharaoh's mercy, he granted her final wish. Before she died, she asked Pharaoh for her body to be buried next to her children's bodies. Pharaoh agreed and honored his promise. See how fair he is? Even to those human animals. You are a stranger. You think this act was violent, but we had it with those people. For a lot of years, we have been nice to those people, treating them as humans. Meanwhile, every time we watch Pharaoh's television, we see nothing from them but cruelty and terrorism. Enough is enough. No more mercy with these animals. And don't tell me Pharaoh's television is lying to us. Pharaoh is only telling us the truth. He is showing us what he sees with his own eyes, and he is guiding us to the correct path.
قال فرعون ما أريكم إلا ما أرى وما أهديكم إلا سبيل الرشاد.
And Pharaoh is not a dictator. Pharaoh asked our permission to kill Moses, and we gave him the permission according to the evidence that we saw on television. We all said to Pharaoh, give them hell.
وقال فرعون ذروني أقتل موسى وليدع ربه إني أخاف أن يبدل دينكم أو أن يظهر في الأرض الفساد وقال موسى إني عذت بربي وربكم من كل متكبر لا يؤمن بيوم الحساب.
And regarding killing all of his followers and their babies, yes, we support him. Don't blame us for that, blame them. They are the ones who inflicted that on themselves.
فلما جاءهم بالحق من عندنا قالوا اقتلوا أبناء الذين آمنوا معه واستحيوا نساءهم وما كيد الكافرين إلا في ضلال.
You might think what am I saying is evil, but no, it's not. If you watch Pharaoh's television for a couple of months, you will understand. You will understand how all of that is justice. All of us agreed on Pharaoh's decision except a few idiots. Those idiots in the Egyptian Congress who were opposing Pharaoh's decision. These deluded people kept saying, it's not fair to kill a man just because he said, my God is Allah.
وقال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون يكتم إيمانه أتقتلون رجلا أن يقول ربي الله وقد جاءكم بالبينات من ربكم وإن يك كاذبا فعليه كذبه وإن يك صادقا يصبكم بعض الذي يعدكم إن الله لا يهدي من هو مسرف كذاب يا قوم لكم الملك اليوم ظاهرين في الأرض فمن ينصرنا من بأس الله إن جاءنا
These are just a minority. Their opinion means nothing. I don't understand how they empathize with the terrorists. Terrorists must die. You might think that the lesson behind the story of Pharaoh is showing how evil he was. You might think it was about him personally, but that is far from the truth. Allah is also condemning his people too, those people who supported him and followed him. And so he fooled his people and they obeyed him. They were truly a rebellious people. When they enraged us, we inflicted punishment upon them, drowning all of them. The word فاستخف here is so meaningful. I wish everyone understood Arabic to grasp the full meaning of it. He treated them as fools. He assumed they would just listen to his lies and his false propaganda and believe him like idiots. And you know what? They did. They believed him and obeyed him, and they got punished with him in the end. That applies to all the followers of every tyrant in history and in the present. On the day of judgment, they will say, our Lord, we obeyed our leaders and elite, but they led us astray from the right way. Our Lord, curse them and give them double the punishment. In this day, those who have been followed will disassociate themselves from their followers. When all of them see the punishment, the ties between them will be cut off. The leaders and the celebrities who used to delude the people will say, it's not our fault you followed us. You decided to listen and you decided to believe. And those who followed will say, if only we could have another chance so we can go back and disown them the same way they are disowning us now. Thus Allah shows them their deeds as regrets, and they will never get out of hellfire. Allah told us the history of Pharaoh to learn from, to be a lesson for all humanity until the day of judgment, so we won't fall into the same propaganda trap again. And this is how his story ended.
حتى إذا أدركه الغرق قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين الآن وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين فاليوم ننجيك ببدنك لتكون لمن خلفك آية وإن كثيرا من الناس وإن كثيرا من الناس عن آياتنا لغافلون وإن كثيرا من الناس عن آياتنا لغافلون.
I will preserve your body for all people after you, so you will become an example and a lesson for them, even though I know that most of them will not learn the lesson anyway. Don't be from those who will not learn the lesson. History repeats itself. The end of every tyrant is inevitable. This was the end of Pharaoh and his supporters, and every other tyrant in history was defeated, even if after a while. And every tyrant in the present will be defeated very soon. What you need to focus on is yourself, what you should do, and how to make sure you are on the right side of history. You need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. In my humble opinion, whoever controls media controls reality. And Allah told us exactly what we should do in these situations. When the media gets controlled by evil, you need to do two things. Number one is don't believe everything you hear. Number two is don't just sit down quietly doing nothing. Let's go one by one. Number one, don't believe everything you hear. Quran chapter 49, verse 6. If an evildoer brings you any news, verify it first, so you do not harm people unknowingly, becoming regretful for what you've done. Also, do you know how Allah talked about the poets of Arabia? Poetry in Arabia was the media of the time. One poet can easily propagate all over the country in days, spreading either good or lies and false propaganda. And this is how Allah condemned it. Shall I inform you of whom the devils actually descend upon? They descend upon every sinful liar who gives an attentive ear to half-truth, mostly passing on sheer lies. As for the poets, they are followed merely by deviance. Do you not see how they rant in every field, only saying what they never do? Take what you hear in the media with a grain of salt, and never be one of the deviants. Number two, don't stay quiet, do something. Quran chapter 5 verse 78. Allah cursed the disbelievers among the children of Israel. Do you know why? The answer is in the next verse. They didn't forbid one another from doing evil. Evil indeed was what they did. Allah is not saying they were cursed because they were doing evil. No. Allah is saying they were cursed because they were not condemning each other nor advising each other to stop the evil. They had this liberal value saying everyone is free, live and let live. Everyone can do whatever they want, mind your own business. Heard about it before? This is the most evil idea you can ever adopt. Stay away from it. Allah said in Quran chapter 7 verse 164, when some of the righteous among them questioned their fellow Sabbath keepers, why do you bother to warn the sinners? They will either be destroyed or severely punished by Allah anyway. Just let them do whatever they want. Let them be and mind your own business. They replied, we are advising them just to be free from our Lord's blame, and so perhaps they may abstain. When they ignored the warnings they were given, we rescued those who used to warn against evil and overtook the wrongdoers with dreadful punishment for their rebelliousness. Focus. Who did Allah rescue? We rescued those who used to warn against evil and overtook the wrongdoers with dreadful punishments. What about those people in the middle who were quiet? Those who didn't commit any evil, but also they didn't condemn the evildoers. أنجينا الذين ينهون عن السوء. We rescued those who used to warn against evil. That's it. Got it? The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَتَأْمُرُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلَتَنْهُنَّ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ أَوْ لَيُوشِكَنَّ اللَّهُ يَبْعَثُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابًا مِّنْهُ ثُمَّ تَدْعُونَهُ فَلَا يَسْتَجِيبُ لَكُمْ. I swear to God, either you advise to good and against evil, or Allah will bring on you severe punishment. And even when you make dua to him after that, he will not accept it. Don't be quiet. Do whatever you can. Speak up. Help people around you who are deluded by media. Share the truth with everyone. It doesn't matter if you lose your social accounts because of that. It doesn't matter if you lose your job. It only matters if you lose your hereafter. الساكت عن الحق شيطان أخرس والناطق بالباطل شيطان ناطق. The one who is supporting evil is a talking shaitan, and the one who is silent in front of evil, not condemning it, is a silent shaitan. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, deliver my message even if all you can deliver is one verse. Don't let this video stop with you. Share it with your friends. Also help it spread by engaging with it with likes and comments. And if you want to know how that compares to our reality right now, check out my last 2 videos. These 2 videos will open your eyes to a lot of things that are happening around us right now. Thanks and salamu alaikum.
اليوم تجزى كل نفس بما كسبت لا ظلم اليوم لا ظلم اليوم إن الله سريع الحساب وأنذرهم يوم الآزفة وأنذرهم يوم الآزفة إذ القلوب لدى الحناجر كاظمين ما للظالمين من حميم ولا شفيع